And like that, we're back.
After a failed test run.
Multiple
That went
failed.
really well.
Multiple failed test runs. It did go really well. It's probably our best one yet.
It's definitely the best one yet.
Gone.
Yeah.
Into the oblivion.
I think some sobriety might be the key to making a good podcast.
It could be for some individuals.
Or at least learning.
And other individuals could benefit from a little bit of, a diversion.
Cannabinoids,
nicotine, ketamine, LSD, Xanax, MDMA, mushrooms, Klonopin, alcohol. I don't judge. I don't indulge in all those different substances, but
some here and there.
One or two every there and then.
A little ket in your protein shake in the morning.
Ketamine is something that I've never understood, and when I used to work at a ski resort, it'll remain unnamed. We'll call it
the Berg.
Well, no, we'll call it B-Berg. Okay.
B-Berg.
B-Berg. And B-Berg was definitely the most interesting job I ever worked.
D-Gen City.
D-Gen City. The reason ketamine reminds me of B-Berg is because there was people I worked with. Now I was on the park crew. There's people I worked with that were doing ketamine while working.
And would they ever just slump out? Or were they just tripping?
They weren't the world's hardest workers, believe it or not, beforehand. So then when you implement a little bit of ketamine, it's kind of like, I don't know what it's like, but I actually asked one of my buddies, I said to him, I was like, yo, his name was Lyndon. I said, Lyndon, what is it like to do ketamine?
Uh-huh.
And he looked at me with such a enthusiastic and passionate look. And he said, it's different every time, which is just insane, dude.
But was it is it an upper?
I don't know what ketamine is.
Yeah.
I know that, I think that Matthew Perry passed away because of it. I think it was a ketamine overdose in the autopsy.
Matthew Perry, the Friends guy.
The Friends guy, yes.
Really?
I believe that ketamine's fairly prevalent when it comes to just the party scene and drug use.
Yeah, it's horse drink.
But I've never indulged in that. I don't believe you have either.
No. Duncan Trussell loves ketamine.
Does he?
That's like his favorite drug.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Does he say why?
I feel like I've heard him saying why, but I forget why.
What do you know about ketamine?
I have watched some videos about people talking about ketamine trips, and I don't know how to distinguish it from just like every other psychedelic, mushroom, salvia.
So ketamine is a psychedelic?
Ketamine is a psychedelic, yeah. Okay. I know that. Salvia seems one that's crazy, dude.
Insane.
Like living 3 months in a different universe that are equivalent to like a minute here.
Dude, I always say you got to try everything once.
Yeah.
You got to try everything once. Not when it comes to certain things. It's hard to make a generalization rule and be on the money with it. That's one of the examples. Salvia, dude, is nuts. Ari Shaffir.
Yeah.
Have you heard his story?
Yeah, he had a girlfriend, and he went underwater into Atlantis.
Dude, right? He did it on a podcast and said he lived a whole nother lifetime.
Yeah,
while he was doing this, what we're doing right now.
Yeah, he was like a half human, half fish.
Yeah,
had a girlfriend. Yes. Living in an underwater city.
Entire different lifetime.
That'll fuck you up, dude.
That's insane.
Mushrooms are already can be very intense for your psyche, but imagine something like that. First one reality. Our reality goes away, and you enter a new one, live an entire lifetime in that, and then that one, and
vanishes.
Snap just vanishes in front of your eyes.
That almost has to make you question your reality you're living in yourself, because if you just lived in an entire another one, and then it just disappeared like that into thin air.
Yeah. Where does that even come from? How is it even possible that we can put some chemicals, and how does our brain get that affected by it?
Dude.
I mean,
it doesn't even make sense.
The dilution of time makes sense. That makes sense. Because it changes your stimuli.
Yeah.
You know, like what you're experiencing, how you're experiencing it.
Right.
Like even like when you're playing like video games, like your perception of time,
it's altered.
It's out the window. You know, you can be playing video games for 10 hours and be like, dude, I thought that was 1 hour.
Yeah, you were just stimulated the whole time.
Yeah, so like that I understand that, and I can understand how a drug would like play into that. But like living a whole different lifetime, 3 months,
dude,
in 10 seconds or a minute or however long a salvia trip lasts.
Yeah, dude. Even if whatever it is, that's just insane.
I feel like it's no more than like 10 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, is that something that you could ever see yourself in any circumstance do? Just straight up.
I don't know. I'd have to talk to my brothers about it. Because I know at least one of them has dabbled.
Yeah. You'd have to it would be wise to consult. It'd be wise to consult with someone that has experience.
If I were to do it, I would take a very small amount.
Yeah. Little micro?
Yeah. Like just a super small hit, like nothing.
I feel like that's the best way to approach any new area of substance.
Yeah.
It's just a little dip your toe in the water, folks.
Yeah.
Why
it's
are
not going to be anywhere near like the main event of doing a lot.
But why do people jump in the deep end? These people, they get in a helicopter and they jump off into the freaking Atlantic Ocean and they go, "Help me, I'm drowning." Well, no freaking shit, dude.
Yeah.
You just jumped into the deep end and you don't even know what water feels like.
You got to dip the toes in the puddle first.
Dip the toes in the puddle.
Sit in some rain.
I mean, you got to get familiar with the liquid before you jump into the freaking middle of the Atlantic.
The
liquid.
Liquid courage. What do you call it? Liquid. Is that what it?
Liquid courage?
No, you have a special word for alcohol, I thought.
Yeah. Tap into the liquid.
Tap into the liquid. It's just the liquid.
It's just the liquid.
Le liquid.
You got to tap into the liquid. Yeah, but it always blew my mind when I would talk to people and, psychedelics would come up and they'd say, "Oh yeah, I never did shrooms, but then I took 4 or 5 grams." And it's like, dude, that's exactly what you shouldn't do. That's like, why are we approaching it? Humans approach for certain things when they lack education is just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And then the funniest part about it, it's not funny, it's honestly sad, is that they look at the whole situation with hindsight instead of going, "Oh, I lacked education and the right approach." They go, "That thing's bad."
It's just ignorance, and like when you're young, you think you're invincible and can handle anything, but it's just not the case.
No.
Even if you're doing it the right way, you're bound to fuck yourself up in some way.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true, especially when you abuse it.
Yeah.
It's a tool, Lots of things in life that are tools. Guns, hammers, build houses with hammers, kill people with hammers. Hamas. It's all about how you It's all about how you use it, It's all about how you use it. So.
Okay, in our test run, we were talking about vaccines and whether they cause autism.
And actually, let's back up a little bit because let's go into RFK, and then we'll get to that. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so first, I initially brought up the fact that I am very passionate and gung-ho when it comes to RFK because everything that he's known for, in my opinion, is all green flags across the board.
Yeah.
Cleaning up rivers that had toxic waste that was dumped in them by massive corporations to save money. Looking at things, double checking things like vaccines to make sure that they are as safe as they are presented to the public, and double checking that we did do the right safety testing and we did do the due diligence to make sure that what we are injecting with our children is safe and is ultimately better for the whole country.
Yeah.
So it's like, for me, I think that's awesome. Taking away things like Red 40, trying to make the food healthier. I think that's freaking cool as can be. But not everyone seems to be as happy or on the same page as me, which is a little bit shocking.
But it's like, what's easier to believe? That you have this entire, all the health organizations, all the food companies are knowingly fucking over the American people, or you have this one guy that's a crazy conspiracy theorist that is going after all these organizations,
Yeah.
Like, it's easier
That's
to believe
valid.
that there's one bad apple than the
whole
entire
system.
menu is is poisoned.
Yeah, the entire system being fucked rather than just this one guy who's maybe waving some false flags and just a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
But so I can see why people are a little bit warded off by him slightly. Yeah. Also his voice. So brutal. So bad, dude. So brutal.
The voice.
Poor guy.
The voice is terrible. And today, with our fucking TikTok brain and our 3-second attention span, and we make judgments.
You hear something you don't like?
Oh, dude, right away.
Next.
See ya. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
I don't care so what
you get 2 to 3 seconds, if that.
Yeah.
And you hear. Excuse me. And I love you, RFK, so sorry about that. That's terrible.
No, he's a great guy. He's fighting for the American people, which is
but you get those two things in the same equation, attention span that's negative 3 seconds and boobada day.
Yeah.
And you put those two voices and all that, it's just people they're not gonna be magnetized towards that.
Bro, I got something weird with people like when their voice goes out. I don't know why, it just annoys me.
Okay.
Like,
interesting.
Like my ex-girlfriend, when she would get sick.
Yeah, her voice would go out.
And her voice would start like going out because she was always like playing sports and like
yelling.
Super vocal and yelling and all that stuff. So she would lose her voice a lot.
Right.
And when she would lose her voice, there was something about it that I was like, dude, I don't even want to be around you.
What do you think that's rooted in?
Dude, I have no clue. It's definitely fucked up. Like, that's not right. But
no, that's hilarious though.
Yeah. And I would tell her too. I was like, man, your voice is so annoying right now.
Well, guys, this is exactly what you don't want to tell your girlfriend unless you want her to be your
ex-girlfriend.
There you go. Back to voices. RFK. Then so when I first heard this dude, I'm not gonna lie, I did the thing that we all did. It's like, who the hell is this dude, and why the frick does he sound like that? And as I got more into his stuff, I'm like, I started doing more research. Like, this guy's actually sweet. Started actually listening to what he was saying. This guy's actually really smart. This guy's super knowledgeable. This guy does his research.
Yeah.
This guy could change the future of America.
And he's like a man, too, which is nice to see in, like, politics, you know?
Absolutely.
He's, like, into hunting and the environment, you know? He's, like, strong, and he's in his, 60s?
70s, something like that. You know he's on testosterone, probably, and that's okay, because, when you get older, you start
He probably is on testosterone.
But you start to lose testosterone, and just because you're on it doesn't mean that you're going to be jacked. You still got to put that work in. It just enables you to put that work in and see results.
But you have someone that's going after or fighting for what we're putting in our bodies, and he's on testosterone. It's a little bit of a conflict of interest.
It's a little conundrum there, but we could get more into that later.
Everyone wants to look good.
Yeah, absolutely. We're all vain. Well, at least the honest ones.
Yeah.
But my full circle when it comes to RFK is not a good voice, but when it comes to problems with people, having a bad voice, having that be your big issue with a person is a great issue to have.
For sure.
Oh, you don't like that person?
For
Why?
sure.
Because of their voice?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you for not liking me because of my voice. Yeah. It's not the content of his character. It's not what he stands for.
Definitely.
It's literally something as surface level and silly as a voice.
It definitely holds him back. From reaching people, I bet.
Yeah.
I would bet.
Absolutely. Abso-frickin-lutely.
Yeah.
Which brings us to...
vaccines.
There you go.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm vaccinated. I've been vaccinated my entire life. I got all the juicers. I got all the perks.
He's vaxxed up. He's got Juggernaut, Speed Cola, Double Tap. He's got them all. And then I was raised in a family that didn't necessarily believe in vaccines, and so I actually don't have a single vaccine.
Or like over the counter like prescriptions and stuff, right?
Yeah, no, I literally have, I think I've only gone to the doctor maybe once or twice in my life. My father is a medical doctor, so it is a little different.
But like when you would get sick, like do you remember that you never took any type of like medication?
Vitamin C,
antibiotics or anything like
vitamin
that?
C, colloidal silver, sunlight. I mean, just
crazy.
Yeah, a lot of water, sleeping. My dad's kind of famous and known for, in our family, when somebody would have something go wrong.
Yeah.
We'd say, "Oh, this is going on. What are we doing?" he'd say, just give it some time, man.
Yeah.
God designed your body to heal itself.
Yeah.
So as long as you give your body everything it needs to function properly, it will heal itself.
Yeah.
So that was kind of his philosophy. It was always a joke, like, oh, this is going on, Mom, what do I do? Dad, what do I do? And then eventually we found out that the answer is, you just keep living your life and
eat good food.
Yeah, it's your lifestyle. You go to sleep on time, drink water, you eat well, and
get all your vitamins.
Eat all your vitamins, and your body will heal itself. Unless you have a broken bone, or there are things that are certain tiers of issues that you do have to go see a doctor for.
Like you have your inhaler.
Yeah, so that's the one thing I've done. So
non-natural thing that you put in your body. Probably.
So I do have asthma, and the one time that I did go to the doctor was to get a prescription inhaler, and so that's the only time I've ever been.
Yeah. No amount of huffing dirt is gonna save those lungs.
There's no riddles you can sing. There's no amount of sunlight you can get.
No flute songs.
There's no skin flute songs that you can rip.
Skin flute. Okay, so
back to the vaccines though. Real quick.
Do vaccines give you autism?
Are vaccines the reason for autism?
I personally don't have autism, so I can't really say for myself.
Well, we don't know that. You haven't been tested, technically.
I haven't been tested.
You don't think you do.
I might have a little bit.
You could have a touch of the tiz.
But also, my father is definitely a strange individual.
Yes.
So it could have easily been, and my brother. My brother does have autism.
Yeah, and
so
everyone
it's in the blood.
Everyone in your family is a unique individual.
Yeah, it's just everyone's on the spectrum. It's just the neurodivergent for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
It's beautiful if you think about it.
Yeah, it's necessary. The human population needs them.
Absolutely, it's how
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Papalan.
Don't do the salute, please.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
I'm not gonna do it.
Oh man,
we can't say that.
I'm still having a hard time wrapping my mind around that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's fuck vaccines. We don't know whether they give you autism or not.
But also, I did see a thing that said there's no such thing as a kid that has autism in the Amish community. There's not an autistic person in an Amish community, and that for me was like, whoa! If that's true, they might be onto something with this whole connection between vaccines and autism.
But what about I don't know. I want to look into other countries.
Yeah.
Because the Amish community, I feel like there's not that many Amish people in the United States. That sample size is pretty damn small.
Yeah.
But you'd think that there'd be an autistic person. There's got to be enough.
Well, it wouldn't make sense, statistically, if you had a certain amount of people.
Where is that coming from? I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of different...
There's so many different factors.
There's so many different factors because, they're living a completely different lifestyle.
Yeah.
It might be harder for them to detect autism because they're not... I don't know. They're not, working like we do. It's less intellectual
Not in the same way.
Less intellectual work, more physical work and labor.
Mm-hmm.
And also, how are they testing all of these Amish groups on whether they have autism or not? I feel like an Amish person wouldn't be down to join some random research project.
So that's the thing with me is if that does hold to be true, there's definitely something worth looking into. Regardless, even if it doesn't hold to be true, there's still something worth to be looking into when it comes to that. But that's if you have an issue with somebody double checking the safety of what's going into your children, I think there's a bigger issue at play, and it's called tribalism and delusion. Because you need to know, if you don't want what's best for you and your family, and you just want what's best for you and your team, I'm sorry, but you have fallen for the trap. It's sad. It doesn't matter if it's over here or if it's over here. If you don't want what's best for the country moving forward, you're wrong.
Yeah. It's the truth.
So.
It's the truth. That's why RFK is nice.
RFK is nice.
Because even if he has some greater agenda, he's still going to give us healthier options in food.
Absolutely.
Which is huge, especially for people in lower income communities.
What do they call them? Food deserts or something like that? Or am I thinking something wrong?
Food deserts.
You heard of that term before?
Yeah, I have heard that term. I don't know exactly. Like, are there food deserts in America?
Yeah,
Really?
I believe so. I'm
Is
not
it-
super familiar. I probably shouldn't have brought that up without knowing.
Yeah.
But
You can't talk about something
No,
you don't know.
I know. I can't even say a fucking thing on this goddamn show.
I know nothing. Okay, but okay. So say you were into vaccines,
'Kay.
and it did give you autism.
Okay.
What trait? Because a lot of autistic people have an amazing, like, specialized trait that they get from having that.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's like being amazing on the piano, perfect
Yeah,
pitch.
yeah, right.
I saw this video of this kid
Yeah.
who had this like toy block,
Yeah.
this blue toy block, and his mom was filming him, and he's like watching a video on his iPad, and in his hands he's like juggling this block and like spinning it like all around his arms and like catching it.
Just nasty with
Like
it.
he understands, like he has the perfect like mental map of this object. And just his hand-eye coordination with it is just
money.
It looks like it's levitating.
Yeah,
like
because it's so smooth.
Because it's so smooth and spinning and like going all over his arms.
And it wasn't AI.
It was not. It was completely
real. Yeah. Damn.
Crazy.
That's insane.
It looked fake. Like you look at it looks edited, but it definitely was not. It was real.
Wow. Yeah.
So perfect hand-eye coordination, that could be one.
Yeah.
What would your artistic superpower be?
This
is.
That's a good. I would. No.
My brother has Asperger's. I feel like I can talk about.
No, yeah, we're all slightly. Both of us are slightly autistic, about 4 to 5%. And no, we're not.
Really getting canceled.
We're done. We're done. No, but seriously, if I had to choose, which I don't get to, but if I had to, I'd probably go along the lines of numbers because me being who I am right now, I'm not great with numbers. I don't have that, and so it would be cool if those things kind of just connected in my head. Like a little Rain Man action, maybe.
Yeah, Rain Man action would be nice.
Yep.
You just go into casinos.
Charlie Babbitt. Come
Charlie
on.
Babbitt.
Go home with Charlie. Yeah, great movie. Yeah, I'd probably go with numbers. What would you do?
This might be different, but I have another story about there's this guy that he got punched in the head.
Yeah.
Outside of a bar.
Uh-huh.
And I think he also hit his head on the ground, and he woke up. Do you know what I'm talking about? You know the story?
I think I'm...
And he basically just started, like, visualizing all of these, like, crazy geometries. Everything he looked at was, like...
Nuts.
Like, the outline of the object, like, went beyond the object itself. Or he would have, like, kind of these weird, like, spasm visions.
Uh-huh.
And he basically just started being able to, like, visualize crazy geometries, like, in his own mind.
Wow.
And then he ended up taking a math class randomly, or meeting with like it was like a mathematician sought him out after seeing his art and was like, hey, do you know that your art like literally is a perfect representation of this equation, of this model? Like, do you know what these things are? And he's like, no, I have no clue. And so then this guy literally became a mathematician after seeing all those visions, and is like perfectly understands all this math from knowing how it looks like before knowing it.
That's insane. I actually never heard that before.
Really?
I was thinking of something else.
Yeah,
but that's nuts.
Just from getting hit on the head.
But it was definitely a very specific hit, specific placement, perfect place, perfect power.
What? How does that even happen?
That's hard to wrap your mind around.
It's called acquired savant syndrome.
Savant syndrome.
Basically, you become a savant from a event.
From a traumatic event.
Some type of traumatic event.
Traumatic. Is it a TBI, a traumatic brain injury? Potentially?
Probably.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Crazy. I don't know. Something with like geometry would be cool.
That'd be really crazy to live your life one way, and then all of a sudden go through an event
completely change,
and then just completely change who you are, what you are.
Because he also became like super like OCD and stuff. Like it
completely
changed his personality.
It absolutely makes sense, and it has to. And that would be so strange to think about. Like, just I throw myself in those shoes. It's like to be the way that I am right now, and then maybe have something happen where I'm just not this way anymore.
Yeah, it
would be sad to me a little bit, you know.
Well, yeah. Also think about like this dude could have easily woken up and not been able to feel his legs.
Yeah, he could have been paralyzed. But he's woke up a genius.
Just a freaking visionary genius.
That's
so,
a little.
So weird.
I'm gonna throw a little Bible verse in there. That's in Romans 8:28.
Mm-hmm.
All things work together for those who believe in the glory of God. It's a situation where nothing good on the outside surface level, but you get through it and you see hindsight 2020.
Yeah,
you know
that you needed it.
You needed it.
Yeah.
It's a Romans 8:28 right there.
Got to get weak to be strong.
Yep. You got to get weak to be strong. You
Okay.
got to see the truth through the pain.
See the truth through the pain. Yeah. Yeah. Elon Musk. Okay.
Dude.
I'm not saying he was trying to do a Nazi salute, but Hitler himself could not have heiled any harder.
Well, Hitler actually came back from the dead after that signal.
He has one hand out the grave.
So, some of us are familiar with the bat signal.
Uh-huh.
Elon Musk
Triggered
did something that is absolutely diabolical.
Transcended generations and woke up Hitler.
He may have woke up a Nazi revolt. No, I'm just playing. I don't think he did that. I think the guy's really excited, and he's got a touch of the tism, which is beautiful.
Yeah, he definitely has Asperger's.
And, you know, if we're being honest, people that deal with those things don't know exactly how to carry themselves in social situations adequately.
I mean, imagine being at Trump's inauguration.
Yeah, even me. I'm
I'm
not normal.
He's not meant to be a front man.
No,
especially at that scale.
In no way, shape, or form should he be up there.
Yeah.
Let alone speaking.
Yeah.
Is insanity.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
but
yeah,
I do like Elon Musk. I think that he creates a lot of jobs in America. He has at least 12 kids, I learned this morning. Did you know that?
Yeah, he has a lot of kids
with
a lot of different women.
At least 12. He is a binary breaker.
For sure.
I like the idea of making a ton of money and then just being like, I'm gonna reproduce. Sounds really wrong when I say it like that. But you know what? He's in a position where he can do so.
He's super smart. If anyone should be reproducing, it's him.
It's not a bad idea. It's not
as much as I don't believe in having double digits of children. We can give a pass to Elon Musk.
Unless you're Catholic.
yeah. Then you deserve it.
Yes, you do.
Then you have the right.
You definitely do. Yeah, Elon Musk is such a multifaceted guy. Freaking top Diablo player in the world. Is that bullshit or is that straight up?
He was a top Diablo
player? He was like number 1 in the world.
How?
I think it might have been bullshit. What
is Diablo? Is that a multiplayer?
It's it's a computer game. I don't think it's RPG, but it's like one of those that looks like a board game but on the computer.
Oh, it's like a card
Smite.
game.
It's like Smite.
Yeah, it's like a card game, right?
Yeah, kind of. So yeah, apparently he was number 1, but that might have been bullshit. I don't know. If that isn't bullshit, holy crap, is that insane, dude?
How does he have the time to? I remember
that's what doesn't make sense.
I mean, yeah, I feel like for a while there, he was like sleeping at the Tesla office.
Yeah, rocket ships, cars, Donald Trump, freaking Diablo.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nuts, dude. 12 kids minimum.
I feel like now he's kind of sitting back.
When you
a little bit, it has to be.
Yeah.
Like, how involved is he really in SpaceX and Tesla?
Oh yeah, I think you have to sell your shares once you get involved in the office, because then you can.
Oh.
Yeah, because then you can manipulate things.
But
for
he's
your company.
still owner, or
I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not sure exactly how that works. He could be.
Yeah.
But he might not. I don't know. I've seen a couple different things. But what I was gonna say is, when you don't know the exact number of children a specific individual has, should be a little bit of a yellow light. I mean, it's definitely not a green flag.
Do we not know how many?
We don't know how many kids he has.
Oh,
we know.
Okay.
This is what I'm saying. We know minimum it's 12.
Wow.
That's what we know. So I learned that this morning on Joe Rogan and Lex Friedman. Minimum 12. When you don't know the exact number of children a guy has, what does that mean to you? Like, what does that say to you? How does that make you feel?
It means that he's good at keeping shit under wraps. Or it means
he's not good at rapping.
Figuratively, he's good at keeping shit under wraps. But literally, Not at all.
He ain't rapping it.
He's not rapping it whatsoever.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, how are you that famous? He must have paid a lot of women a lot of money.
Yeah, he's obviously got a lot of connections in a lot of different places.
Yeah. I mean, good for them though.
What do you you being someone that leans more liberal, me being someone that's a little more conservative, how do you feel about everything? It's all said and done. Donald Trump's our president. There's no going back. We're going into the future. How do you feel about the whole thing, the whole shooting match?
I mean, I feel good in the sense that there's a lot of like truth being released. You know, like people like RFK being part of it.
Yeah.
That makes me happy, for sure. And I do like the fact that you have all of these very jarring individuals in office, and just different people in office, because it just means that there's change coming, and I'm hoping that change will be for the best, for all.
Yeah.
But it just means that we're not just going to be in that constant cycle of liberal in office, Republican in office, nothing ever changes.
Yeah.
Down. These people are willing to take risks, which I feel like is what is going to be necessary to
grow.
Yeah. Yeah. Do I like Donald Trump as a person? No. But I think he could be good. And I don't think Kamala was necessarily a great choice either. No.
Kamala was someone that isn't Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And that's basically all she was, with all due respect.
The only thing I can really, like, if Trump was pro-abortion, everyone would vote for him.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
pro-choice.
That is the
pro-choice is what you mean.
Yes.
Pro-abortion.
Yes. Pro-abortion.
Mandatory abortions. No more children.
Mandatory abortions. Let's go full socialism.
Maybe. I heard it's really wise. I heard it's really smart if instead of dipping your foot in the kiddie pool, you just jump in the deep end.
Jump right in.
Full socialism.
Yeah. Because that's really the biggest thing that I don't necessarily agree with.
Yeah.
I think abortions are good. Not good. Not good. Clip that shot.
All right. Who the fuck is this
I think
guy?
Abortions are necessary and
for specific situations.
Specific situations.
If there's a woman that goes through and endures something like sexual assault, rape.
Yeah.
If there's a woman's life who's on the line and she doesn't necessarily want to die. There's specific situations that, I try to put myself in the best I can. Obviously, not being a woman, it's impossible, but I try to understand and look through that lens and perspective. And I actually am someone that's more conservative, but it seems a little odd to me personally that we are America. We pride ourselves on freedom, the freedom of choice, the freedom of where do you want to work, where do you want to live, what do you want to do.
Yeah,
you get to choose. That's what our whole thing. That's our pride, our joy, our ego is wrapped up in freedom. And then when it comes to, that subject, it's like, well, you don't get to make that choice.
It's the conflict of two laws, basically.
Yes, because people say it's another life. And it is another life. There's no way to get around that. It's not a clump of cells.
Yeah.
It's a human. It's a baby. You're killing a child. There's no way to... you can do mental gymnastics all day, every day. At the end of the day, you're killing a child, an unborn child. But it just seems a little weird to me that it's like, choose this, choose that, choose.
I can't choose that.
No, choose that right there. You're not allowed to make that choice.
Yeah.
It's like, well, even though I disagree with the choice, and I definitely want more children to be born than people to just, I do think that there are specific situations, that I mentioned earlier that require that decision to be made,
Yeah.
And it's wild. It's wild that we're even having this conversation being men, if you don't have a reproductive system.
Clip. I think abortion is good.
If you don't have a reproductive system, it's really wild to even have a conversation about this.
Yeah,
in the first place.
Nobody gives a fuck what we're saying about it.
Yeah, but honestly, it is strange to be home of the free, land of the brave, choose, but not that choice. To me, that seems a little strange.
It seems a little strange.
I mean,
there will come a day where...
But you're definitely killing a baby.
Yeah. You're
100%.
you definitely are killing a baby.
Yeah.
But I feel like there are some necessary evils that exist.
Absolutely. You need the yin
there,
for the yang.
There will come a day where abortions are literally forced upon us.
Really?
I think so. 100%.
Really? What makes you say that?
Just given, like, carrying capacity of the earth, limited resources.
Okay. Interesting.
I mean, it's like what China is doing, you know?
Well, China had a fucking law that said you can only have...
2 kids.
2 kids.
Yes.
And now they have a population problem.
Yes.
So, we're seeing how that's all playing out, which is super interesting. Kind of shot themselves in the foot there a little bit.
They definitely... Maybe they should have said 3. Would that have fixed their problem?
Can't go back and find out, unfortunately. Yeah. You know? I think that limiting someone's ability to have a child is kind of weird, too.
It's definitely weird. It's definitely weird.
Yeah.
It's not that I support it. I can
see it happening in the future.
I could see it happening in the future.
Yeah, with resources being scarce. I don't necessarily agree with you, but I do think that's an interesting perspective.
Yeah, I think there will be a lot more socialist law implemented from environmental changes and, you know, the population increasing, limited resources, especially like on the trajectory we're on right now.
Yeah.
I don't think we can live in this, it's America, you can get anything you want, whenever you want, forever.
Yeah.
I think that has...
It'll come to a halt eventually.
It has its limits.
Yeah, just like everything else. There may be some truth to that. Maybe.
You
never know. All right. I think that's money, bro.
Money?
I think we're out, folks. I think that's all we got.
I think that was the best podcast we've done so far.
If you ever got any comments, questions, or concerns...
If you see this, don't cancel us.
No.